Something strange is happening this month. It's already July 2025, but for thousands of older South Africans who depend on their monthly pension or SASSA grant to survive, the money hasn't arrived. No SMS, no deposit, no clear explanation. Many have waited patiently, checking their phones, visiting ATMs, even going to the post office, but still no payment. So what's going on? Why are pensioners across the country being left in the dark? This isn't just a minor delay for many. It means empty fridges, unpaid electricity bills, and anxiety over how to make it through the week. The worst part? The official answers have been slow, vague, or even missing altogether. Today, we're digging deep to explain the real reasons behind these grant delays and, more importantly, what you can do right now to protect yourself, your family, and your income. From back-end system failures at SASSA to recent updates at Postbank and even changes in how grants are verified, this is not just a technical glitch. There are new verification checks being rolled out quietly, and if your ID or bank details aren't up to date, your payment may have been flagged or frozen without warning. We'll also explore how regional disruptions like load shedding affecting payment systems or even bank network errors are compounding the problem. And yes, we'll break down the latest SASSA announcements, what's true and false on social media, and how to avoid scams now targeting grant recipients. Whether you receive the older person's grant, disability grant, or are a caregiver relying on the child support grant, this information is for you. Stay with us because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some people haven't been paid in July, how to check if your grant is affected, and what steps you should take today to get your money. Without standing in long queues or getting caught in confusion, let's get into the facts, because your dignity and peace of mind are worth fighting for. So let's dig deeper. First, imagine this. You wake up on a cold July morning, pinging your phone over and over, thinking, surely by now that pension grant will be in my bank account. You go to the ATM, you visit the post office, maybe you even phone your children to ask if they received any notification on your behalf. But nothing. Silence. And that's when the heart-sinking feeling hits. Why haven't I been paid yet? That question hung in the air across thousands of households this month. And this is exactly why we're here, to walk through it all step by step and shed light on every angle, every possibility, and every solution you deserve to know. To begin, let's talk about the systems behind the scenes, because sometimes it's not about you personally. Systems can break. Banks can have glitches. SASSA's administrative systems can become overloaded, especially at the end of the financial year or early in a new month like July. These systems handle millions of transactions across South Africa. Picture hundreds of banks, millions of IDs, grant types ranging from older persons to disability, child support, foster care, and more. Now, if just a fraction of those transactions run into technical issues, it becomes a cascading effect. One glitch here, one hiccup there, all of a sudden, thousands aren't getting paid, even if their grant is approved. But here's the thing. When you feel frustrated at an ATM thinking it's just you, remember it's not. This is a broader problem that starts in the back office, often with overloaded servers or late-night patches that didn't go as planned. SASSA and the banks periodically update their systems, and typically these are supposed to be invisible to recipients. But occasionally these updates come with side effects. Delayed batch processing, missing files, or mismatched records. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, but what about official information? Where can I look? That's an excellent question. SASSA usually publishes statements on their website or via gazettes and press releases. In July 2025, their statement acknowledged delays due to batch processing issues and new verification protocols for beneficiary accounts. That last bit is key. New verification protocols. So what does that mean? It means your grant is being scrutinized again. Maybe your bank details have changed. Maybe your ID is expiring soon. Perhaps there was a sudden match error between your SASSA file and the Home Affairs database. And if the system can't verify the updated info, it flags your record. That doesn't mean you're disqualified. It means your payment is on hold until that mismatch is resolved. That's why some people get paid late or not at all, even though they're fully eligible. So what should you do? First, confirm what grant you're receiving. Older person's grant, disability grant, or something else. Then go to the SASSA self-service portal or the post office counter and ask for the status of your payment. If it says on hold or pending verification, ask what specifically needs updating. Could be a new bank statement, an updated certified copy of your ID, or a signed affidavit. The key is to find out what needs to be fixed. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with your account at all, and yet you're still stuck in limbo. That's because of regional issues. For example, I heard from seniors in semi-rural Eastern Cape and Northern Cape provinces that load shedding caused ATM networks to collapse. So even though SASSA sent funds to the bank, the network didn't process them properly because the power was off during the upload window. Those accounts will eventually receive payment, but it may happen later in the day or even several days after. Then there are bank-specific issues. A lot of pensioners use Postbank accounts. Postbank can face its own unique challenges, particularly when post office branches rely on satellite systems or older infrastructure. Some areas of KZN and Limpopo ran into connectivity problems this July. The result? On-time payments showing pending or failed in the queue, even though the funds were sent correctly. And this brings us to another key topic, communication. It's natural to think, why doesn't SASSA just send me an SMS if something's wrong? And that's fair. In many cases they do, but infrastructure is only as reliable as the weakest link. Sometimes, SMS gets delayed or blocked by mobile networks. Sometimes the SMS is vague and simply says payment withheld pending verification without explaining why. That's why it's vital to use the SASSA self-service line 860-1011. It may feel like waiting on hold, but ask firmly, what is the hold against my account? If they don't tell you immediately, say you need a reference or case number. And if there's still confusion, escalate to the SASSA complaints line or ask a relative or community leader to advocate on your behalf. Keep track of names and dates when you speak to anyone. Another factor, scammers. Wherever there's delay or uncertainty, there's opportunity for people to prey on hope and fear. This July, fraudsters have been circulating messages. Your SASSA grant is delayed, but you can pay R250 to expedite. This is a scam. Let me make it clear. SASSA will never ask for money to process or expedite your grant. If someone calls or sends you a message asking for payment, ignore it, block the number, and report it to the SASSA fraud hotline 11200 and 61 8200. Now let's talk timing. Historically, SASSA pays grants on or before the 1st of every month, in this case, July 4th, 2025. Yet because of processing schedules, thousands didn't receive payment until the 3rd, 4th, or even later. But in those instances, overnight or weekend processing gets delayed. When systems update during bank maintenance windows on Saturday nights, it can push the process back to Monday or Tuesday morning. That's why recipients should check from the 1st through the 5th. Your money might not show up. Until then, another scenario, people with mixed grant types. If you receive an older person's grant and a care dependency grant, SASSA sometimes tries to bundle payments into one electronic transfer to your bank account. But if your account can only receive one grant type per day due to bank limits, one payment may go through while the other stalls. That means you'll only see one deposit and won't know the other was sent. So in that case, check your statements carefully. If your bank or SASSA tells you payment returned to sender, you need to resubmit for the second grant type or change your receiving method. Some people pick up the second grant at the post office or via Giro. Let's also address the fear many seniors have. What if this delay recurs? What can you do to guard against it? First, keep your information current. If you move, update your address with SASSA, even though SASSA doesn't deliver door-to-door, home affairs and bank communication matters. If you change your phone number, tell SASSA immediately so you can receive SMS alerts. If you change banks or change from bank account to post office, you'll need to fill out new forms and possibly supply certified bank letters. The earlier you update these, the smoother the process. And also mentioned scams earlier, but know this, scammers are using fake websites that say sassanowgov.sa or sassahelpupdate.com. Always check that you're on the official GovZA domain. Look for sassa.gov/not.com. Neither the South African government nor SASSA uses sassa.com. For official portals, if it doesn't end in SASSA, it's false. Also, double-check any email addresses or phone numbers they provide you. Don't match the ones on the official SASSA website. If in doubt, go directly to sassagov.gov. Ask someone you trust to verify. Another key update this July, the Department of Social Development introduced a new random spot check audit across provinces. They announced it quietly, but it's real. They selected a sample of 10% of recipients to confirm continued eligibility, especially for seniors and those in subsidized housing. What this means is recipients may receive a letter or SMS asking to verify income, living situation, or medical condition. It's not punishment, it's validation. But the flip side is, it can delay payments if your documents aren't in order. One senior in Pretoria shared, I got a letter asking for my pension book and ID copy. I had to queue 5 hours to get them certified. My payment was holding for a week. That kind of real-life story illustrates why preparing now matters. If you're wondering how to respond to such a spot check, here's what you can do. Call or visit the nearest SASSA office and ask if you've been flagged. If they haven't flagged you yet, ask if any upcoming spot checks are planned in your area. And regardless, keep copies of your ID, medical forms, pension book, proof of residence, and certified bank details. You keep them together in one folder, so if the letter arrives, you can react quickly within the time frame, usually 2 weeks, and avoid payment blockage. Let's also look at another true life case. A pensioner in the Western Cape said they found out on July 2 that they were being temporarily suspended because their utility bill was older than 3 months. When they provided a recent one, payment went through by July 4. That wasn't a system error. It was policy enforcement. So the key is don't just wait. Take proactive steps. Make sure your proof of residence is up to date and less than 90 days old. That ensures your grant isn't flagged during administrative sweeps that occur mid-month. Now, let's talk about solidarity, because this issue isn't just individual, it's collective. Where pensions are delayed widely in a region, like it happened in parts of Limpopo this July, community organizations, elders forums, and traditional councils can help by organizing a delegation to the local SASSA office. These groups can request a bulk status update or push for emergency rollouts. One municipality in the Eastern Cape did this in May and got a written commitment from the SASSA regional office to clear 90% of backlog within 5 days. That's the power of community pressure. It shows SASSA that delays are impacting lives and sometimes leads to faster resolution. Now, I want to highlight a crucial nuance. Some people believe the delay is caused by politics or finger pointing at leadership. But the truth is, many of these problems happen at operations level, staffing, IT systems, logistics, not boardroom politicking. Yes, there may be inefficiencies, but many are logistical and can be solved if approached smartly. So don't fall for conspiracy spin. Instead, focus on the actionable steps we've discussed. Verify your data, escalate with documentation, check your account daily from July 1 to July 5, beware scam messages, and act swiftly on any spot check letters. Let's pivot now to grants that are paid at the post office. I know many seniors pick up their grant check or gyro monthly. This July, some post office branches in KZN, Gauteng, and Eastern Cape ran out of gyro stock or had printer errors. That meant pensions couldn't be issued on time and people were kept waiting. The post office usually stocks up on paper ahead of time, but with late deliveries or pre-processing delays from SASSA, the supply chain got misaligned. SASSA, what a person in Durban shared was this. I got there on the 2nd and was told to come back on the 4th. They said the checkbooks arrived late. To avoid this, what can you do? Call the branch head, ask if they received the July batch and whether there's a long queue. If possible, arrive early on the release days. Now, credit goes to those unsung heroes, rural postal agents, queue managers, community leaders who camped at ATMs overnight to ensure older people could withdraw as soon as funds were released. They became the real frontline support for pensioners this month. That's what community spirit looks like in practice, and it's worth celebrating and replicating. Okay, let's talk about a silver lining. This crisis has sparked conversation. Online forums and WhatsApp groups have lit up with questions and tips. One group in Bloemfontein shared a list of phone numbers for SASSA regional offices. Another in Cape Town posted, take your proof of payment slip from the ATM and show it to SASSA. They listen when you have paper. That's the kind of advice that turns anxiety into action. And video creators like this channel can help amplify it by interviewing experts, showing step-by-step how to check the portal, how to certify documents, or even how to spot a scam. By sharing trusted, verified info, you empower others. Now for the next steps, after you've verified your information, updated documents, checked your account, reported SMS or email scams, and visited your local SASSA office if needed, sometimes there's nothing more you can do except wait a bit longer. And it's frustrating, but here's to hope in most regions, once the backlog clears, SASSA may decide to adjust the official payment cycle back to the 1st, but to do that, they need to clear the backlog. And how do they do that? With data integrity, with people like you reporting missing payments, with community feedback. That pressure can bring systemic fixes, faster turnaround, and better transparency. One expert I spoke to said the more beneficiaries missing payments through formal channels, the more SASSA notices where the blockages are. That's real influence, and it comes from your voice, your call, your letter. So don't shrug off the delay. Speak up politely, firmly, and persist. But before we wrap, I want to give you an idea of what to expect in the coming week. SASSA typically publishes their August schedule by mid-July. Last year, they did on July 15. If they follow pattern, expect next day payments on or before August 1, unless another system update is planned. Keep an eye on the official website or community radio announcements. This channel will update you as soon as we know. Another thing, if you missed July, don't worry about July being lost. SASSA will still pay you for July, in July, or the first week of August. They don't skip payments. The money is still yours. The only difference is timing. One last reminder, your dignity matters. Waiting is hard, but know this, the system is supposed to work for you. You've paid into society. You've raised children, and now society has a duty to support you. Whenever you feel frustrated, remember your worth, and that your perseverance today helps millions of others. All right, let's bring it all together. Here's a quick mental checklist. You've checked your status on the portal or in person. You've checked your SMS notifications, but know they can be delayed. You've contacted your bank or postbank. You've ensured your ID, residential address, and bank documents are updated. You've verified with SASSA if you've been spot checked. You've checked your branch or ATM before visiting. You've reported any scam messages or calls. You've kept receipts, statements, and logged your communications. You've spoken to your community group. You're ready for when the payment arrives. And if it doesn't, you'll escalate with documents in hand. If you do each of these or encourage a friend or neighbor to, the chances of resolving your delay go up dramatically. Situations like this may feel overwhelming when you're alone in the moment, but when you're informed, organized, and persistent, the delays can be overcome quickly. And more importantly, you regain peace of mind. Let's close with a message of solidarity. You deserve your grant, and you deserve clarity. Your monthly pension gives you independence. It buys your groceries, pays your electricity, helps you care for loved ones. When it doesn't arrive, that sense of safety disappears. But hope and action can bring it back. So if you're still waiting, know this, your grant is on its way. Keep following up, keep checking, keep your head held high, and know that this channel is here to stand with you, providing real info, not myths, real solutions, not empty promises. Let's turn your delay into resolve, your anxiety into action, and your waiting into winning. Because by the end of July, you will be paid. And together, we'll ensure August and every month beyond arrives on time with confidence and care. Thank you for listening. If this video helped, take a moment to like, share with a friend who's waiting, and subscribe for follow-up updates. We go deeper next week into appeal letters, media oversight, and elder advocacy groups you can contact if things drag longer than they should. Until then, stay informed, stay supported, and stay strong, because your peace of mind matters.